Yeah, pour it up, let the bourbon speak. Call me old-fashioned, we bringing that heat. 100 proof, sipping flavor on blast. Dabbling with the rear view, raise your glass. Bourbon hunting for unicorns, that's the chase. High ride heat, put a smile on my face. Respect to the OGs, yeah, they set the tone. Tucks, Mr. Lopez, I rock Aragon. Notes hit strong, low key smooth ride. I'll see you on the other side.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. Glad to have you. Wow, it's been a minute, right? It's been a while. I can't even remember the last time I went live. It's been that long. It's I mean, I gotta pull up the date at this point. We gotta reminisce. What was it? I went live once in January. Let's pull it up. Why is this not showing me the last live? January 16th. It's been a while, boys. How you been? Welcome back. Tonight we are going to be doing kind of like an infinity blend. I mainly wanted to create like a rye infinity blend. I tend to drink the shit out of my ryes. I'm kind of running low, so how to create another bottle is to just make one, you know? So we're going to make a rye infinity blend. Then we may do a little bourbon one, right? A little high proof one. So yeah, welcome to stream. Happy Friday. If you're new, subscribe. If you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. Before we dive into the infinity blend though, I need to do a little whiskey and coke. I need a little warm up. I'm unfortunately completely sober. No, unfortunately, it's fine. I'm not going to die. But let's check the chat. Bourbon Daddy says, "Oh man, we live. We're live. That's it's real." Kyle says, "I'm live. I'm alive." What is that? Oh, I moved my things all around. I can't see it. Kyle, $4.99 says it's about time. Hey, I know. I got some splaining to do. He says, "What's happening, brother?" Kyle, I'm glad you're alive though. How was your vacation? I know, bro. You probably been back. Horsepower in the chat says, "Happy Friday, bro chip." That's a fucking cool name. Bro chip. What should we do? Should we just do a regular Jack and... Yeah, let's just do that. Bring it back. My mic's all floppy. Bro, it's cold out. I don't have a bunch of winter clothes. It's Florida. Apparently, bro, it snowed in Florida like last week or something like that. So you know it's been rough over here. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, drop a like. Let me know what you're sipping on, right? Dry January's over. I don't want to hear the excuses. So let me know what you're doing tonight. Subscribe if you are new. Let's do a little Jack and Coke for the boys. And then let's do like a rye infinity blend. And then a bourbon one. The bourbon one's going to be the high proof one for sure, because I got way more bourbon than I do rye. The rye, I'm probably just going to add in all the ryes that I have. Which, if you guys haven't been in the Discord, I've already killed off the Sazerac Rye full proof and the 100 proof, the Jack Daniels bonded, the Manifest Rye as well, which is this one from Jacksonville. This is a bottle we're going to use tonight, mainly because I couldn't get the crap off the Caribou bottle first. So I may transfer it later, but that is what it is. Kyle says, "Kids and I had a blast. Many fun family memories visiting dad and them. Kids didn't want to leave Hawaii." I mean, I can't blame them. "Why are you drinking Coca-Cola like it's fine wine?" Bro, Coca-Cola is fine wine. This is Coke, zero sugar. It's Jack and Coke, by the way. I haven't been like super big on like sodas and whiskey or anything like that lately, but I've been on a little Jack and Coke kick. Well, let's say Coke and whiskey. And Coca-Cola. Kidding. Currently having Cooper and Cass 9-year store pick. Yeah, there we go. That's how you start a Friday. "Did you see I picked up 2 Stack Juniors for $76 each?" Yeah, I saw you rob the liquor store. That's a hell of a pickup, too. Hey, my fine wine. Ready? A little pinky. What is Coca-Cola? What is the taste of Coca-Cola besides saying it's Coca-Cola? You know what I mean? Like, can you tell me what it tastes like? No, it tastes like soda. This is the kind of shit I think about when I'm not live, by the way. Like, we could say I'm crazy if you want to, but I'll be thinking some bizarre ass shit. All right. Let's start the Infinity Blend, and then, yeah, let's chat it up. Need just a hair more Coke. All right, let's start off with the higher proof rye. Now, I do plan to add in just like a little bit of the hazmat American light whiskey into both, the rye blend and the bourbon blend, just because of the high proof alone. That, and it's good, so why not? 506 says, I like the background setup with all the bottles and lights. Hey, appreciate it. I built it myself. Surely 1K plus. Oh, wait. He says, how much do you think all the whiskey or the wine, alcohol, whiskey behind you counts up to? I don't have any wine, by the way. So I just have whiskey, like bourbon, whiskey, rye. Do I have anything else? I got a little malt liquor. I got some pre-mixed stuff. Yeah, 1K. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell the wife it only costs $1,000 in here, but I got like 2 bottles that will just do that. You know what I mean? Like, easily. But I've been gathering this stuff for over the past like 3-4 years, so it's not like I just went to the liquor store and bought it all in one day. That would surely hurt the pocketbook. Could you imagine? I mean, I'm sure people do it. I can't. I mean, I got a checking and a savings, and it takes a while for me to transfer from my savings to my checking. My liver's tough as hell. I actually don't drink that much. Like, I mean, I drink, but not as much as you may think. But hell yeah, it's tough. All right, so this one's going to be Heaven Hill, Grain to Glass. Which batch is this? 2024? Yeah, 2024 release, 123.2 proof. This is the highest rye I currently own, so that's going to be probably more the heavier base. I probably should have got a little funnel or something, you know? I'm going to spill the hell out of this. You know what they say? Just send it. I should probably do 2 of these if I had to, like, guess. You know what I mean? This is also one of the better. We won't do 2 full ones. Do like 1.5. we're being scientists. If you've never made an infinity blend, if you have a decent collection of whiskey or bourbon or whatever you like, really, blending it all together gives it your own unique taste. Now, typically, some people fill it up. Some people go halfway. And then that way, anytime you buy a new bottle, you just kind of add to it. And you put the stuff you like in there, so typically the end result is going to be like a combined of all the bottles that you personally like. I like to get a little bougie with it and keep it all separate. Like, I like my ryes to be one, the bourbons to be one. So we had one, but to be honest, I put it in that glass decanter, and it was good for a while. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't last near as long. It oxidized fairly quick. And I mean, if I had to guess the proof on that thing, easily 120-ish, right? But it tamed down over the months it just sat there. So, all right. So we have the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass. Let's do a little bit of the these two. Little New Rift 8-year 100 proof, and then a little Still Austin straight rye, not the cast strength, because I finished that one off too. This one's 99.6 proof, so close enough, right, to 100. I almost picked up one of the Russell's Reserve 6-year age ryes, but it's only 90 proof. And I was like, man, I don't really want a rye under 100, right? Like, this Still Austin next to me, that's probably the only one that I'm like, yeah, I can mess with that under 100 proof. So I put, oh, what am I doing? Let's just put this down here. I put the about we'll call it 2.5 ounces of the Heaven Hill grain to glass, and we put about an ounce and a half of the New Rift in there. Let's do a little ounce and a half of the Still Austin. Horsepower says New Rift and Still Austin are just killing it lately. They're two of my favorite brands. I'm not gonna say like my top two. Still Austin could definitely be my number one brand here. You know, I love their bottles. New Rift came on really strong for me. I loved everything they did. You know what? We could put a little New Rift sherry in here too. Let's do that. Because that one's not just sherry. That one's got some giddy up. Because this one's fantastic. By itself, it's just a killer fucking bottle. The Kentucky Straight Malted Rye Whiskey, finished in sherry cask, barrel proof at 111.5 proof. I wasn't a big fan of this to begin with. And it sat there and it sat there. 6-year age. It just grew on me. And I'm going to do a little pour of this one too. Just because I'm feeling it, you know? We won't do like a full ounce and a half. We're just going to do a little bit less. Because I really don't want that sherry to take over. You know, I just wanted the New Rift in there. Going to Cincinnati in a few months. I'm going to check out their distillery while I'm in the area. Can't wait. I hear everybody that goes to that distillery loves it. They have a really great whiskey bar. They got a great tasting room. They have tons of swag and stuff you can get that's also not like super duper overpriced. I'm not going to say it's cheap, but definitely better priced. What was it? They have like some crazy stuff at their, like, you can get like a flight of like all their hard to get shit that they don't even like sell half the time. So check that out if you go. But yeah, I'd love to go. One day. What's next? Let's do a little bit of this rare character. Now the rare character here is going to be the Batch 1 2025 123.76 proof straight rye whiskey. I would say this one's great, but definitely leans a little bourbon friendly, right? And typically the way I like my ryes is just to be 100% rye, kicking the dick with the spice. You know, that's just what I've gravitated towards. Funny enough, like this time last year, or even a little bit later than last year, I wasn't even that big of a fan of rye. Like I dabbled in a couple for sure, but I didn't really like go all out. I feel like all I've been looking for is ryes lately. It's harder to find good high proof ryes compared to a lot of other things. Like I can find good high proof bourbon all the time. Let's put a little bit of the Rocket Top in here. We'll put some of the Old Forester barrel proof rye. I got a little bit of the Bullet rye. So I don't know if you guys know the Bullet rye, the 12-year rye. It's like their. He says, "Ooh, you like a little tingle on your dingle? Hey, I like it to vibrate." I think they stopped selling this one. I haven't seen it on the shelves anywhere, but I've been seeing a 10-year. So I don't know if they said, "Hey, I don't feel like sending out." What the fuck is that? I think they wanted to try to age it for 2 years less and start sending out 10 years because people are still going to eat it up, you know? But we'll put a little bit of this in here. So this is like 95 proof, I believe. Somebody just said in the Discord says, "Hey, where you been? Fridays nights aren't the same without the live." I go, "I'm live right now." It's crazy, crazy. Maybe subscribe, maybe subscribe. I don't know. Foolproof Hunter in the chat. What's going on, baby? Welcome back. We'll do another about ounce and a half of the Bullet 12 year. Doing a little infinity blend right now of just the Rise. Love the background setup. Is this your first time here, bud? I could have swore you've been in here before. But yeah, I love the background too. Unfortunately, I may be moving soon, so I'm gonna have to tear it all down, which I'm not looking forward to, and then I'm gonna have to rebuild it. Luckily enough, I'll be able to just transport it, hopefully, unless I break it all, and then I'm gonna have to buy more. Those panels back there, they're the biggest pain in the butt. There's probably like 200 screws in that wall. About to do another about ounce and a half of the Old Forester single barrel proof rye. This rye definitely leans a little more bourbon friendly-esque. I remember this winning one of the rye blinds. But I remember it winning because I'm like, this feels like what I wanted, and if I wanted a bourbon at the time. Yes, been here before, still a fan. I appreciate it though. I was just about to say, like, I'm sure I've seen your name in here before. What's next? Oh, we got a little rocket top. This one's for sure one of my favorites. It's slowly like not in like that first spot anymore. That Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye is by far like probably my favorite bottle right now. I think I went through 3, if not 4 of them last year. And because it's like the only thing I drank. I just love that bottle. I still need one of the Tangers. And just so you guys know, if I had it, I wouldn't put it in here. That'd be crazy. Porky said, just joined the room. Notice the 12-year Bullet, can't find it at all anymore. Yeah. The 12-year, I think they stopped selling it because I keep seeing 10-year age Bullet Rise now. I think somebody's getting a little money hungry over there at Bullet and said, hey, we'll age it 2 years less and just send it because they're going to buy it anyway. The 12-year was fantastic. I've had that bottle a while, though, for sure. I've also had this bottle a while, too. This one's the Bardstown Bourbon Company Origin Series Rye. It said toasted cherry wood and oak barrels, 96 proof. 6-year age, 95.5 mash bill from Bardstown. Good stuff, though. Horsepower says the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof ryes are elite. I have one now that's 137 proof. Yeah, that's what I want. I originally had like a 37 or 37 and a half proof. I drank that really quick, and I haven't really found anything above like 131 before. And I always look for the higher proof ones, just because that's what I want in ryes, just higher proof. You can find like a bunch of like 120 proofs on sale at Total Wine a lot, and they're just as good. Like, I wouldn't get too picky over the proof itself because it's not that drastically different when it comes to the Jacks. But the what I would say is, like, I look anytime I see them. If it is that high a proof, I'll pick up a backup because I know I'm going to drink it. But I'll buy whatever whenever I'm out of it. Foolproof says, yeah, that 12-year is great for the price, no doubt. Yeah, it was definitely one of the better value ryes like 2 years ago. I probably have switched that up, like my opinion on that statement. Not that it's not good for the price, don't get me wrong, but I think my opinion on that's probably changed a little bit. Just like I like other things that are just as good, if not even cheaper. So I think that is it for the ryes. I really don't have too much more because, like I said, I drank them all. I have half my rye collection over there empty. So that's why we're doing it, because now I have another half a bottle of rye whiskey. Just, I'm big braining it, you know? I don't have to spend my money. I can just make it myself. I'm kidding. Kind of. Let me do another scan. We did the rare character. We did the Still Austin, the new Riff, the new Riff Sherry, Heaven Hill. I don't want to put the High West in there. The High West is like super unique and different as far as like it was like caramel green apples, and I know it doesn't go with the rest of my stuff. So it was either gonna throw it off or make it better, and I just don't want to risk that because I know this is gonna be money. But I do have this hazmat here too, that I'm adding in. This one is a 20-year, 8-month age American light whiskey coming in at 141.42 proof. Friday, Porky, come on. Nah, I mean, I do like a good rye. Don't get me wrong. And I typically am just drinking rye. But I started out with rye. We're going to move over to the bourbon. I want to see how this works, and then I'm probably going to put in a little whiskey ginger. That's like the ultimate test. Just like my bourbons, the ultimate test is in an old fashioned. Just how I do things. Have you tried the Silver Spring sweet rye barrel proof? Silver Springs? I ain't even never heard of that. Silver Springs? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the silver whatever from New Rift? That's my first thought. What comes to my head? Foolproof says, I have an idea that has been itching at me. I love the 2023 JD Special Release Twice Barrel Rye. I'm curious if you can double oak the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye or bottle and bond rides to get close. Ooh. I like that. I don't think normal people will be able to do it because those small barrels aren't going to impact the flavor as much. But in theory, if you were to go buy a bunch of it and go age it in like an ordered barrel from Jack Daniel's, or really anywhere, I guess, like a bigger size barrel, I'm sure it would get close. I just don't think like if I were going to take on that challenge and I go put it in the small barrels, it would not come out to what we want. I think it would come out heavy oak and a little harsh. Maybe. But what do I know? I've never really done a lot of the aging stuff, mainly because I haven't had the space. That and like, man, I know I'm gonna fuck it up for sure. I'm messing it up. So let's do this. Then we'll taste it. Then we'll go over a little bit about what's been happening with the channel, all that jazz, and we'll kind of go over some deets, some details. Let's just do 1.5 ounces of this to finish it off. This one's light. It has a lot of flavor, but the proof is just going to overpower. So I think the proof is going to blend well into it and just give it a little bit of a unique style flavor on top of the rye. I don't want it to move away from the rye or make it like a burr rye too much. But I just think that will give it a little bit of its own unique little twang to it, you know? So that's all I'm going to put in it for now. We have some ryes that should be coming in, and then when we get the Jack and the other Sazeracs, because if I see the Jack or the Sazerac full proof, that's a buy on site. Even with the 100 proof, I'd buy it on site if I don't have one. The full proof, I'll buy 2, 3 of them. I love that bottle too. The Sazerac full proof and the JD goes kind of head to head a little bit. It just depends on like what profile style you like more. Like, are you more of a Buffalo Trace fan or a Jack fan? Because if you like Jack, JD's not missing. If you like Buffalo Trace, then you're probably going to like the Sazerac a little bit more, in my opinion. But those are 2 great bottles. I don't know what it is, dude, but this bottle is like super oily in here. But everything was basically 100 proof or above, and there was a handful of bottles above 120, and then you have the one bottle at 140. So it should have a decent proof level to it. Let's do a little neat first, right? And then we'll do it in a whiskey ginger. So I always say I'm gonna give them away, and then like every time I go pick a winner, then they go, "No, I just wanted to win. I didn't really want the sample." And I go, "What do we do this for?" I had like 6 people do that once. There is no OGs or mods in here tonight, is there? Bro, they talk about me missing. They've been missing. All right, let's do a little pour. Google it after live. Great stuff. Yeah, for sure. If I thought like I'm drawing a blank if I know what it is, but my first thought was the new Rift, the silver whatever from New Rift. I hear that's fantastic. I've never had it though. I mean, it smells fantastic on the nose. It smells a little sweet, and I do get a little of that the hazmat one. Like it has this like caramel sweetness on that the hazmat that came through really prominent. That's still there on this. You know, it's got a lot of rye spice. Oh, that cracks me up, dude. When people taste test a rye and they go, "Yeah, there's some rye spice on there." I go, I would hope so. Yeah, it smells like it's gonna be a little sweeter. Not like a ton of ethanol in there, so it may not be as high a proof as I was maybe hoping or guessing. But it is fairly oily. I would say a lot of the stuff I put in there has a pretty good age statement on it. But who knows? Let's give it a little taste test. Cheers. Christian in the chat. He says, "Yo, cheers, bro. Happy Friday night. $4.99 super chat, Christian. Appreciate it, buddy. Welcome back. It's been a while. You're late. You're late, and you missed all these past Fridays, bro. Where you been? Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. This turned out really good. But my first thought is 3 things really stand out. One, I can tell the Old Forester barrel proof is in here because it has, that's where that caramel note, that sweetness was coming from. It was actually the Old Forester barrel proof. There was just something about that bottle in particular that made me think it really wasn't like super rye forward. It felt like a high rye bourbon, right? That's what it felt like, the Old Forester. The other part of that is I can for sure tell that the hazmat is in here. Maybe that just needs time to blend, but it all kind of, those kind of work together. All the rye spice from the other bottles, even though they're probably the more prominent on the lower proof ones, it comes through fairly well. I think it has good sweetness. I'd say the biggest like notes, in a sense, besides caramel, is mint for sure. If you guys are new here, one of my favorite notes on rye is mint. But I also like spice on the back end of the palate. It's got a little cinnamon, a little nutmeggy. The back end of the palate is not that. It's not that punchy, is what I would thought. You know, it may need time to just sit in there and blend a little bit. By the way, but I would say if I could do anything different from what I just did, would be maybe put a little less of the Old Forester in there, knowing that I didn't think that was super rye heavy. Because that's the only part that kind of throws me off. I'm sure other people would like that part. It's just like when I drink that one, I just get like bourbon, you know, a little bit. Overall, I think it was successful though. I don't think I put anything bad in there. Nothing I didn't like, of course. Yeah, bro. I think it hits. I don't think it. I originally was guessing maybe the proof would land somewhere around low 20, like maybe like a 118. It's probably closer to like 110 ish, maybe a little higher. Who knows? Maybe I'm spot on. Maybe it's 115. iRock said, "What up, team? iRock, welcome back, baby. Happy Friday." This is my whiskey ginger glass, so we're gonna have to evict this drink. My bad, I got sidetracked with the kiddos. Hello, what are y'all sipping? We just did an infinity blend with all the ryes that I own. We put them in here. We also added in a little bit of the American Light Whiskey 20-year hazmat. Just put a little bit of that in there. We had the first pour of it. I think it was a success. There's some pros, there's some cons. I think the pros outweigh the cons for sure, but now we're gonna put it in a whiskey ginger, which is really the ultimate test of if I fucked up, you know? Because I liked everything I had separate. But if it's good in a whiskey ginger, then I just cheat code my way into a half a bottle for no cost, other than what I paid for the other stuff. Mikey in the chat says, "Call me old fashioned. Still brings the best damn whiskey content on the tube." Thanks, brother. Hey, I appreciate that. I'd love to take that as like, yeah, sure, hell yeah, I do. I've been slacking, bro. This is my first live. This is my second live all year, besides the New Year live. New Year live crushed. The New Year's live was so much fun. It hit every mark that I wanted to. So if you haven't watched that and you want to know what I think of like every whiskey no demand, basically, go watch that. If you care less, don't go watch that. But I had some fun with it. I clipped in, you know, what I name him? Richard Seacrest. Richard Seacrest came in. It was a good time. I had fun. I like doing that on New Year's Eve. I don't go out, so I like to hang out with you guys. But I did the Whiskey Awards. That was fun. The next one, I don't remember. Oh, we opened up the hazmat last live. So, like I said, I was going to break down like the channel and stuff like that. So I've been dialing back the lives this year for a couple reasons. One, I like hanging out and just straight hanging out. But I also want the content to have some kind of purpose other than just hanging out. I feel like that does the disservice to you guys just to hang out every Friday. It's not a hangout channel, it's a whiskey channel, so I feel like I got to put in a little bit of effort there. So we're not doing lives every Friday because of that. Let's test this out real quick. So that is where I've been. I've been planning, and I've been doing some other stuff too. Christian says, started using maple syrup instead of simple syrup in the old fashions. It's a game changer. You said that last stream though. What did we use? Maple syrup. I can't remember. Oh, I told you the honey one. That's what it was. It was the honey and the orange. Made a pretty good old fashioned. Did I put enough? I'm not sure. I had to have, because one of these bottles typically fits. So a side note to that as well, like I've also dialed back the lives just because drinking every Friday is kind of a little rough. I've been working a lot. It's tax season, so they're all excuses, but they're valid excuses. You know what I mean? So, but I still like creating content. I still like hanging out and doing lives. Just sometimes the drinking part needs to take a little bit of a backseat sometimes. Not all the time, right? We took a lot of January off too because a lot of people were doing dry January. But just so you guys are aware, I did create a second channel. Not for whiskey or anything like that. I created a second channel for just Florida Panthers hockey. Really more of, eventually going to be more hockey, but we're starting out with just the Florida Panthers. Kind of like news updates, kind of watch parties, stuff like that. Something for me to be creative with so I don't get too burnt out with just bourbon content, and I can kind of keep it fresh with both. Because I do like, that's what I do in my spare time is create shit. So I just wanted to have some fun with it. So if you guys like hockey, let me know. We'll get you over to the other channel. We can watch some hockey together. We used to do it on this channel. Like that's coming up. Like we always watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. Granted, Panthers won last 2 years, so it was a good time for everybody. Probably not going to make it this year. That's a given. But we would watch it on this channel anyway. So it's just moving content from here over to there. Foolproof says, love substituting simple syrup for something like a Casey smoked maple. So sweet, and I get to use that bottle for something. That's funny. I mean, maple syrup in an old fashioned is pretty good in general. Kyle says, not a huge fan of Penelope apple. It's good, but black walnut's way better to me. I hear that from everybody. A lot of people don't like the apple. Literally, like 2 hours before I went live, there was a store near me that said they finally got it because it's not been available in Florida up until like 2 hours ago. I'll probably get it, right? Because I have all the other ones, so I kind of just want to, got to taste test it for science in the channel, right? But a lot of people say it's similar to Fireball, and I'm not a fan of Fireball. You know what? I always use cans. I don't think they're the same size. So I'm throwing myself off here with my original ratio. But let's add just a little dash. Because I wouldn't have been too far off anyway. We'll just point this because it's not the manifest. There's no manifest whiskey in there, by the way. What do people use? They always do something stupid like stir their drink like this. And this. That'd be hilarious, right? But yeah, I mean the black walnut's fantastic, by the way, Kyle. I think that one's a good hit. It's one of the better pre-mix old fashions. The best pre-mix old fashioned, in my opinion, is probably the Handy and Scheller from Buffalo Trace. It's a little pricey, but it's fantastic. Mikey says, I know you're not a bar guy, but have you been to the Elbow Room? Ooh, I have not. But I also don't go down there too often. But for sure, like, it's on the list. You know what I mean? The Elbow Room down in South Florida it's I don't even know how to word it, bro. It's elite. You know what I mean? Not for the drinks or anything like that, just for history. You guys seen the meme of when McDaniels drove by the Elbow Room to make fun of like the Bills, and then they swapped it around and they put the Bills or not the Bills owner, I'm sorry, the Dolphins owner Stephen Ross, and put McDaniels as the Bill guy after he got fired. Bro, great meme, great meme. But that's also where the Panthers go after the after they win and stuff. They go party up there. I'll drop the channel link. No obligation to go over there. You know what I mean? Like if it's not your thing, by all means don't do it. It's fine. But that's the other channel. I was been up for like a week or two, and then I got sick. That's also why I haven't been live, is because I was like sick as hell. Basically the wife got sick and the kid got sick, and I thought I was getting away with it. I was like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. And then I got wrecked. So it was, bro, I still kind of feel it. It's been like all of, I don't know what, January 15th, like a week after that live stream, I've been sick the whole time. So, but again, just to be clear, Bourbon channel is definitely the main priority. I just want to dial it back on a little bit of the lives, unless we can produce like better content, then fire away. But I just don't want to do random nothing lives on here and waste everybody's time. I like to hang out still. We'll still hang out, but I wanted to go back to professional stream, then we hang out. You know what I mean? Kind of like what we're doing now. We did a little infinity blend, now we hang out. Horsepower says that's always how it goes. You think you're in the clear, then boom. Boom. Yeah, well, mainly because like I got a little sick and it went away, while theirs continued to ramp up, and I was like, I have an elite immune system. And then it was like, hold my beer, and came and fucked me up. I lost my voice. I couldn't talk. I had a fever. Like I looked like death. I still had to work through it too, so which really sucked. That didn't help me get better any quicker. But I survived. Um, but that's why I wasn't like live and stuff on there too much. I picked up some dehydrated oranges, and they give an old fashioned nice touch. Yes. Also, there's a little. I'm not going to plug the New Year's Live again, but on the New Year's Live, when High Top Sports came on, made an old fashioned, they used either he used or we talked about the orange slice things that you can get from Total Wine. That brand also makes like cherries and stuff like that. I can't remember the brand name, but basically it's like a thing you can put in there. It's not dehydrated though, which really gives a really good touch to an old fashioned. I'm sure dehydrated does too, but this one was more like a candied thing. I think it's supposed to replace like a cherry. Kyle says bourbon hunt and drink the spoils after on a Friday. See, in a perfect world, yes, but I also like. Unfortunately, I'm working full time again. Where when we started this channel, I was running my own business. I could kind of make my own hours, do whatever I wanted. Now I work full time for like an employee. I'm like an employee again, and I work like 13-hour days most days. So I don't get off work till like 7 o'clock at night most nights. So it's not even like possible. Like I'm sure there's a way. I just don't know how to do it. Because you got to think about it. I still got to eat, got to clean up, got to spend time with the kid. If I get off at 7, we're live at 9, 9:30. Where am I going to go? You know what I mean? So it's tax season though, and I work in taxes. Jacob says, what's up, everyone? Been a minute? Yeah, that's your fault though. Not because I haven't been live, because you haven't been here. Kidding, obviously. Psst, what's responsibilities? I know, dude. I know. There's certain parts of the year where I have super flexible schedules, so I can't really complain too much. It's just January through May has always been super crunched. But yeah, so we might be moving down South Florida soon. Things are up in the air. There's a lot of moving parts over here, boys. I'm drinking Rio tonight. Usually not a big fan of any kind of flavors, but this honey really good. The Rio is Amberana and honey finish, which I like. I wish it was higher proof. You know what I mean? It's the only like knock that I wish, because I think it had really good potential, but I'm not the biggest fan of those anymore. I liked them when I first got them, but the more I go back to them, the less I really want to drink them. Like I have the Havana and the Rio. I also have the Bees Knees from Short Barrel and Sapsquatch. And they're not bad. They're just not like what I want to really drink most nights. So they're like one-off pours and like desserty style drinks to me. Kyle says south, southeast, or southwest. West Palm Beach is where I'm potentially going. So West Palm Beach to Miami, just depending on where I want to actually, live. The choice is mine, obviously. I just have to decide. They be offering lots of money, you know what I mean? So I just kind of have to like decide what I fucking want. I have the Havana, not a fan. I definitely like the Rio way more than the Havana. The Havana is, I don't know, the rum barrel finish part doesn't like entice me. The maple did, but I'm not saying either one of those are bad, but like very much dessert, super sweet, like half-ounce pours, and like one of them, and I'm good. Like I don't even need any more than that. Not because I'm buzzing, just because I don't want that long. By the way, final assessment on this Infinity Blend Rye. It works really well in a whiskey ginger, and I'm pretty picky with it. It's not my favorite by any means. Like, it's not competing with the Jack or the Sazerac Rye. It's not high enough proof, and it doesn't have enough spice. But I think it's like, just to give you an example, even though I put some higher proof stuff in here, I could give this to somebody that's new to rye or doesn't like high proof, and I think they'd be okay. Now, granted, it's a mixed drink, you know what I mean? But I've given like my Jack Daniel's whiskey ginger to somebody before, and they were like, "Fuck that." So they weren't ready for the giddy up yet. Foolproof says was not a fan of the Havana 2. I traded it away. I wish people here would trade bottles that are open. It's not like I do anything to it, so just and nothing I'm trading away people want. So Christian says finally picked up the Penelope Project X Sherry finish. Really liked it. I do have that one. I like that one too. I like that one better than what we were just talking about for sure. I haven't had it long enough to really like decide if it's like really worth picking up because it's also single barrels. But I will say I've had it with Coke and that just because I was rushing. I was watching whatever. I think I was watching football, and I grabbed it and just made it real quick, and it was actually fantastic. The sherry part really paired well with the the Coke. So a weird series of events led to that one, but it wasn't that bad. Jacob says kind of became buddies with my favorite liquor store owner and got me a Stag 4 cost. I was super happy to get it, but now I don't want to drink it away. Nah, fuck that. Drink it. Drink it. The one thing I will say I've learned the most over like the 3 years of this channel is like I've bought a lot of bottles for multiple reasons. One, because I like having stuff. Kyle joined the family for science. Oh, he said, oh, it's his 4 months. Hell yeah, Kyle, 4 months for science. Yeah, the biggest thing I would say I learned is like I've bought a bunch of bottles for the channel, some for myself, some for just whatever. And at one point, I was buying like a new bottle or 2 or 3 every week, right? So I was never really getting to a lot of these bottles. And I'll give you some examples. I have a Lucky 7 Holiday Toast. That was my favorite bottle, not this past Christmas, but the one before that, right? And same thing with the New Luke Double Oak Weeded single barrel from Sealbox that I got. Those two were like, just like it's like watching Dan Marino in his prime. You know what I mean? You're just like, wow, what a time to be alive for that. But they're not that good anymore. And it's because I let them sit, I let them oxidize, and I let them just kind of turn to shit. And I did it because I was like, I want to hold on to this bottle. I want to try and savor it as long as I can. When in reality, I should have just appreciated the bottle for what it was at the time, drank it till it was gone, and just be able to tell stories about what it once was, rather than, look, it was good for half the bottle, and then I wasted the other half. And I've done that. I did that to a lot of bottles. Not intentionally, just because I had so many. That's why at the end of this past year, I gave away a ton to my brother. I gave him a case of different bottles. A lot of stuff I wouldn't drink, but a lot of stuff he would. Like I gave him my Maker's set, gave him my St. Augustine ones, the early times. I gave him a bunch of shit. And so the volume's low. It's because the mic's over here, dude. I don't know how to wear it on this jacket. Maybe here? Nah, not there. Not there. Maybe here? I have no idea, bro. It's because this jacket's too floppy. Here. Bro. Oh, I'll just put it in my hat. Duh. There we go. I'm sure that's a little better, right? Right, Kyle? Right? Or Jacob? My bad. So I'll keep that in mind. The Stag is still over half, so when it gets down, I'm going to drink it. Yeah, but that's my example, right? Because this is the bottle I'm talking about. It was my favorite toasted barrel I've ever had. It's a 119.6 proof, double oaked, finished and toasted, and new American oak barrels. It was a single barrel pick from Wild Whiskies, one of the earlier barrel picks of this channel that I picked up. Not that I did, and it was fantastic. But it's halfway, and it just didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like, it's still drinkable. It will get drank, but it's now just for cocktails because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work by itself anymore. So, but your whiskey, do what you want. But I will say I've wasted a lot of whiskey doing that. Where now I just drink the piss out of a bottle if I really like it. Like, you'll see me just absolutely annihilate some stuff. My Russell's 15 is like one of the few bottles that I really like, and I haven't like decapitated. Jacob says, still have so many I'd like to try. Me too, though. Bourbon Therapy says, guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Back again.
Uh-oh.
Guess who's back?
Oh, I did. I hit it too many times. That's awesome. Welcome back, Bourbon Therapy. Welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Glad to have you. If you guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 4,000. I may have took off like a couple weeks, but you guys didn't. I think we jumped like 30 subscribers since my last live stream, and I didn't post a single thing. So I appreciate you boys. He sold me a Weller 107 and enjoyed it after a full proof next. Bro, where are you at, Jacob? Let me be friends with him too. I need both of those. And a stag at cost. Kyle said that music made my dog get the zoomies. My bad, bro. It's just for Bourbon Therapy. I don't know. I don't even remember how we got there. He used to come in here and just say, guess who's back? And I just thought of Eminem, so I downloaded the song. I put it on my little hot board here, and he has his own intro. I don't know what to tell you, boys. Be a little bit creative. I'll grab a song for you too eventually. I had the sound effects pretty high though, didn't I? That's my bad. What we have like I can't do that because I'm about to play non-monetized music on the other channel, bro. I can play non-monetized shit because it doesn't matter because it's not affecting me. I think it's so funny. I get the alerts. It's just like, you're gonna get demonetized. I go, I ain't monetized, bitch. So, over here we gotta keep it in line, or YouTube's gonna get mad. What we drinking, fellas? So a recap of the night so far. We made a little Jack and Coke, whatever, and then we did a infinity blend of all the ryes I own. We went about halfway, so I can continue to build on it. We also put a little hazmat American Light whiskey in there. It's pretty good. It also works really well in a whiskey ginger. Bourbon Therapy says, I'm honored. You should be. You should be. You're the only one here with a song besides in the intro. Where's my intro song? Yeah. In the intro, I call out some of the OGs. So they kind of are in the intro song. So that's what they get. But you have your own separate one. Jacob says, how far are you from? Oh, wait. Jacob's small town, Oklahoma. I washed his windows, and I got to talking one day. He's cool. See, that's how you do it. You know what I mean? Just got to wash all the liquor store windows and get the hookup. Been buying up their Buffalo store picks lately for 38. That's pretty good. I wish somebody would do a Buffalo Trace pick around here because I need some. But I really just want like a more unique one than just their basic one. I'm being picky, but you know what I mean? Kyle says, nah, just a 60-pound dog doing zoomies while I'm sitting on the couch is like an earthquake. That's my bad, bro. It's my bad. Yeah, Kyle's over here building his own bourbon meetup. If you guys do a meetup with more than just 2 people, I'll have to figure out a way to get there. We should. I always say this every year. I haven't made it yet, so um, uh, Kentucky Bourbon Festival should be a go this year because I'm in a primo spot to where like I shouldn't have to work that like the past couple years. You had the one year I had all the weddings that week, which couldn't work. Then the next year was like a weird tax season, so I was forced to do it. But this year I should be in a position where I could be able to take off and not have to worry. So as we get closer, obviously I'll give you guys more confirmation. But there should be a lot of people from here going to Kentucky Bourbon Festival. We'll all meet up and get hammered or something. Maybe not hammered, just buzzed. Call me old fashioned. Cannot be responsible for anything you do. Bourbon Therapy says, I have Buffalo Trace pick that tastes like Mexican. Bro, I'm dyslexic. I can't even read it. Tastes like something candy. Jacob says, I'd be down. I could get away. I have 3 small kids, so I don't have much free time. Damn, bro. I have 1, and I don't have a ton of time. I can only imagine 3. Let's see. What else do we have planned? Should we do a bourbon infinity blend? Let's do this. I'll make a poll. I like doing polls. Don't take it away from me. Let's do a poll. If the majority is yes, we'll do it. If not, we'll save it till like next week and we do it next week or something. North Florida is back in the chat. Cheers. Happy Friday, North Florida. How you been, buddy? Welcome back. Glad to have you. Yeah, we're back live. It's my first time live. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe. Bourbon Therapy says everybody answer yes. Polls over. LOL. What? Hold on. I'll roll the intro music or something. Let me. Oh. I almost did copyright music. That was gonna be my bad. Let me go grab one of these other bottles over here, and we'll just in case, for science. Be right back. Let me turn down the music for Kyle's dog. Be right back.
Yeah, pour it up, let the bourbon speak. Call me old fashioned, we bringing that heat. 100 proof, sipping flavor on blast. Dabbling with the rear view, raise your glass. Bourbon hunting for unicorns, that's the chase. High ride heat, put a smile on my face. Respect to the OGs, yeah, they set the tone. Tugs, Mr. Lopez, I rock, they're gone. Notes hit strong, low key, smooth ride. I'll see you on the other side.
I guess we can use the stag bottle. I don't have any other ones that are gonna make sense, but I have some decanters coming, so I can always transfer it. This one I'd like to remove the label. I didn't because it was gonna look all janky for the stream, so I'll do it after. But I wanted to be high proof anyway, so if we could hit like 128 proof for the blend, ideally that'd work. So let's move this over here. Let's put it on this shelf. So now we have a whole nother rye bottle that successfully worked. Jacob says, the other thing I did that helps grease the wheels with the owner was bringing up my open reel because the owner and one of the workers haven't tried one. Kind of got me in the mix. That's awesome. I think, I haven't done that yet, but I think that's a great way to build a really good relationship. If you're willing to go share some with them, they also know if they hook you up with something that maybe they don't get to try because they have to sell. Maybe they think you're going to open it with them, which is, bro, that's like a cheat code. Good on you, bro. Ooh, Kyle, super chat. 9.99, Kyle. Bro, what the heck? What happened to my comment? Oh my god, I don't know what happened there, but Kyle says cheers. Kyle, I appreciate you, buddy. I don't know what happened. Why my comment? Let me try to pull over somebody else's real quick. Bro, what did I do? I like messed up the comment somehow on like pulling it over, so that is my bad. It says you good. She went outside and I turned my volume down. Now I got to make a glass of Stag after that speech he gave me. Time to enjoy it with you all. Yeah, bro, you got to. My Stag's gone, bro. See, I drank my Stag. Now I did the Stag a little dirty. This was fantastic as a pour. Fantastic. I had the 24C, but this is one of the first bottles that I think that like it really sat with me. I was like, if I don't drink this, it's gonna turn to shit. I need to drink it, and I drank the shit out of it. But I made, and this is kind of the cool part too. Like when you finish it off, you kind of have stories like this. I had some cherry Coke, or what was it? It was like the new like vanilla cherry Cokes, no sugar, by the way. And I made like a whiskey Coke with it, and it, bro, no joke, blew my fucking socks off. I was like, this is fantastic. One of the best like whiskey and Cokes I had was with the Stag. The Stag has this like cherry note that really pairs well with it. So like, I'm not saying that's what you should do, but it was a good time. He has a 25B and love it. See, I do need another Stag. Oh, we're gonna use this. We're gonna use this. High proof, but so much flavor. Yeah. I mean, I'll say over the years, I've really started to become like a proof whore. That's partly because like I like to drink, but I don't like to sit there and drink all night and just like have a lot of liquid. But I like to have a little good buzz too. So part of it is like I want to drink less with the same effect. Oh, North Florida just put in the Discord that he killed a Jack 10. Brutal. I love my Jack 10 too. That's another bottle that's been hard for me to actually finish because I know I'm not going to get another one. At least not of that batch. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so let's I didn't check the poll, I guess. But yeah, I figured, yeah, 100% people voted it. Well, I'm just going to leave the poll up for now. Just going to leave it up, let people cook it. So let's be strategic. I want it to be higher proof, right? So I'm thinking like 112 and up minimums, right? That should be a good call. 112 and up for proof wise. A lot of people would say it's crazy, but let's start it off with some bangers, right? I have the E.H. Taylor barrel proof, 127.2 proof. Lucky I have another Jack 10. Currently sipping Weller 107. Okay, we see you. I'm glad you have another Jack 10 though. It's a fantastic bottle. Just so you guys know, like for every one I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do like an ounce or like very slightly above it. So I'm not gonna like go heavy on one rather than the other. I don't think that makes a lot of sense because I have so many bourbons that I can put into this. Bourbon or whiskey, it really doesn't matter to me. So we put a little E.H. Taylor barrel proof in there. Let's do a little of this Woodford's, the Master Collection, batch 121.2 proof. This one's fantastic as well, but I think it will pair well in here. Haven't ventured into any Jack Daniels yet. Oh, Jacob, do it. If you like rye, go for the Jack Daniels single barrel proof rye. That's probably one of my favorite bottles right now. If you're more of a whiskey kind of guy, then go for just the single barrel proof whiskeys. those are fantastic as well. They're hot, right? So they got some giddy up on them. They are higher proof too, granted, but they got this punch on them that really just makes you wake up. But they're fantastic. Even if you're not a big fan of proof, I would say any of the bonded lineup, the triple mash is my favorite one. But bonded whiskey or bonded rye is pretty good. They're both a little sweeter. The triple mash is more like berries and cream, though, from what I remember. All right, so we have E.H. Taylor barrel proof. We have some Woodford's barrel proof, the 121. Let's continue on that Woodford's strain, and let's add a little bit of their highest proofs they ever released, which is 139.4 proof from the Chocolate Whisper Redux. I'm going to do basically 8 ounce, nothing too crazy from that. He has a gold label barrel proof here, or there for like 65. I almost bought it today, but passed it up. Ooh. Yeah. 65 is a good price for the barrel proof Jack. I'd say that's pretty much average MSRP. Some places sell for like 70, 75, but 60, 65 is a pretty solid price. If you really think you're not going to be a big fan of it for some reason, my advice would be go to Total Wine. They sell the 375 milliliter bottles for all of them except for the single barrel proof rye. I haven't seen those, but I know they have the whiskey. All right, so we put in 2 Woodfords, a Buffalo Trace, just for funsies, right? Let's do a little benchmark foolproof, that is. Kind of reminds me of Stag. It's also cheap enough, and it's 125 proof, so it helps just kind of stable out the proof a little bit more. It's kind of like a good base type of thing. I keep grabbing that cork. All right, so 2 Woodfords, 2 Buffalo Traces. Let's find something else real quick. Ooh, hell yeah. Let's put in, because North Florida's in here, let's put in a little bit of the Chattanooga whiskey, the single barrel, which was the Brown Sugar Monster single barrel pick from the Bourbon Barns drop like last January. But I still haven't finished this thing. But this thing was fantastic. It's 120.3 proof. That will pair well in here. Very well in this. Jacob says, anyone have the JD Heritage Blue Label? Yes, I have it. I volunteer as tribute. It's good. It's definitely one of the better toasted barrels, in my opinion. Let's put this up on the lineup. Let's put a little Russell's 13 in the lineup. Let's put a little Furry Ranch in the lineup. We're getting crazy now. But I personally think like JD could be one of my top brands. Obviously, it's one of the legacy brands. It's not like the crafts like the Fray Ranch or anything like that. But I just like it a lot. I don't know if it's just like nostalgia plays a big factor in that for me, but I just can't get enough. Now, the Russell's 13, it's not the 15, but it is the highest proof they've ever released at 123.8 proof. Again, we're going for higher proof for this blend. I did spill a couple drops. That is on me. My bad. Party foul. But, you know, I think this is going to be a good little infinity blend. I also wanted to have a really solid base of a lot of things I like, and then we can add on to it and really watch it change. This one is a whiskey. It's not a bourbon, but it's rare character. It's 133 proof. But I will say, if you haven't had this one, this is batch 1 for 2025. It's really good. Again, every bottle I pulled over, I'm putting about an ounce or just very slightly over. By the way, there's also a good way to like drink down some of your bottles as well, like to just blend it up. If you find a bottle that you're just not really drinking a lot of, it's a good way to kind of do that, you know. Let's put a little of the Frey Ranch in here. The Frey Ranch is 123.88 proof, so I don't think we've done any of them yet. Okay, the Woodfords would be the lowest proof in there at 121 proof. So we're at minimum with over 121 proof on this blend for sure. Definitely higher because I put in some 133, 123, shit like that. Frey Ranch is also another really solid pick, by the way, just to stand alone. Jacob says he also has Four Roses store pick that was really good. Might be another, even though it's $100, 10-year, 4-month OESK barrel proof. Which one do I have? I have the OESF. I like a lot. It's 11 years, 3 months. The price on these single barrel picks, though, have definitely gone up. Because I remember when I got that one, it was a while ago, and it was like at $80. And I remember they used to be like 75, and they released, that same store released another one, and it was at $100. I think $100 is the average price for the single barrel strength like store picks for those Four Roses now. Let's do a little bit of this little book. It's 121.8 proof. Yeah, $100 is pricey, but those Four Roses, fantastic. I'll probably add a little of that Four Roses in here, now that you're saying it. I'm just adding in all the good shit. All the good shit. Not the Russell's 15. I'm not going to put the 13th Colony in here. Like, there's some things that I won't, I'm not going to do that. I have standards. Let's add a little of this Four Roses. This is 122 proof, right? 61%. Yeah, I believe that's right. Bro, I'm pumped to try this one. I just have a feeling it's gonna be money. Jacob says that's what I was thinking. That mix is gonna be crazy. Bro, I've put I'm not, this isn't like, oh, look what I'm doing. I'm not trying to flex, but like the amount of money that just went into this blend, insane. For Frey Ranch, $80. Little Book, like $125. For $100 Four Roses. The Russell's 13. The rare characters. E.H. Taylor barrel proof. You know what I mean? Like there's some heavy hitters in there. Let's see what else we got. We'll leave those alone. Let's do a little of the Pipe Dream cast strength. Pipe Dream in itself is great. Cast strength at 116.8 proof is also another really good proof to add in. I'm also like thinking like, what else do we add, We might stop here. Maybe. Let me do another scan real quick. I haven't touched that Discovery barrel since I bought it. That's kind of crazy because this is stupid expensive. But I have not touched this really. I forget it's here. You know what I mean? This has a ton of age. I don't want to add it in this because it's only 110 proof, and I'm not really trying to make it a double oak. But yeah, I'm not going to add in the Jack Daniel's Heritage or the 10 just because of the lower proof aspect of them. Even though they would be good, I feel like it would just kind of change it a little too much. Let's do a little 1792 full proof. It's 125 proof. I think I actually like the flavors. That's a dry cork. I gotta flip these. I like the flavors of 1792. I don't like how it gives me a little dry mouth. It's the only thing that I dislike about 1792. So I don't almost ever drink it. It's just what you enjoy. People can spend crazy money on hobbies, and I just don't understand. At least you get to something from it. 100%. I mean, it's my what I always tell people too. Like when they come in, they're like, "Oh, you must have so much money behind you in alcohol." I go, "This, I enjoy this. This is a good time to me. You know, it's better than just wasting it on something else. Like I at least have a hobby that I get to have fun with. I get to share with you guys. And it's my money. I'll do whatever I want with it. How about that? So, all right. I think we should be good there. The only other one I would potentially add in is the Old Forester 1920. I'm not going to do that because I feel like this profile we have going on is like a hybrid of Woodford's and Buffalo Trace, with both are a little bit sweeter. That 1920 is going to bring in that banana note. I don't think that's a good pairing, but maybe we add it in later. I don't want to add in a bunch of weeded ones, and I have a bunch of those. Yeah, I think we're good on this. Yeah, I did the Chocolate Whisper Redux, full proof, batch proof Woodford's, barrel proof E.H. Taylor. There's no reason to add in Eagle Rare or anything like that. Not going to add in Tanager. Add a little bit of this Still Austin Cask Strength at 116 proof. Got a pour left. I'll have to drink that tomorrow or tonight. I'll finish it off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching, drop a like if you haven't already. If you switch drinks, let me know what you're sipping on too. I want to participate. I want to be part of it. I think that is good. What I want to do real quick is grab we'll leave that. Now let me grab a little bit of ice real quick. I'll play the intro song and I'll be right back.
Yeah, pour it up, let the bourbon speak. Call me old fashioned, we bringing that heat. 100 proof, sipping flavor on blast. Dabbling with the rear view, raise your glass. Bourbon hunting for unicorns. That's the chase, fire right heat, put a smile on my face. Respect to the OGs, yeah, they set the tone. Tugs, Mr. Lopez, I rock, Derek gone. Notes hit strong, oaky smooth ride. I'll see you on the other side.
And we're back. I didn't take the mic off. I'm sure you guys could hear me in there rifling around. Jacob says, have you had Penelope Tenure? I hear a lot about it, but I haven't got one yet. I hear it's fantastic. Single barrel. But no, I have not had it yet. I always look for them, but I always see them at like extreme secondary. And I'm really not gonna pay $250 for a Penelope. It's just there's not been one Penelope that's, in my opinion, worth that kind of money. My favorite one right now is going to be the creme brulee, and that one's like $70. I think that one's a fair-ish price, because it's higher proof, it's higher age, it's got the complex stave, it's got a little bit of something to it, right? But it's still Like that's the most I'm paying for anything Penelope. If I found the 10-year single barrel, I don't know what MSRP on that is anymore, but like I'm not paying too much. That's also why I don't have one. Now, granted, I won when Penelope first released their estate collection. I actually won that raffle where you got to buy all three. You just had to go up to the distillery and pick it up. I did not go up because I had a wedding the same day as the release. I tried to give it away. Tried to let somebody else go up there and get it, but nobody really from the channel wanted to go up there or lived close enough that it didn't matter. But they could have just bought all three at MSRP and maybe sent me a couple samples or something, whatever. But no, didn't work. Didn't work out. Jacob says, no, me either. I don't want anything that badly. I'd feel like I couldn't drink it. There's been times like with the Russell's 15 and even the 13th Colony where I kind of felt weird trying to drink something that expensive. But at the end of the day, it's just alcohol, right? If you're willing to spend the money and you got it like that and you're okay with it, then you'll get over the part of that because you should drink it or it's a waste anyway. But yeah, I'm like this year especially because last year I got a little out of hand. Like spending that much on a single bottle is just a little much. I feel like the average bottle nowadays costs $100, and I just don't really want to just spend that every time on a bottle. So Cognac in the chat says, "Hello, how's the stream going? The stream's cruising, buddy. We did a infinity blend of a rye only, a little bit higher proof, but we used almost everything I had, which actually turned out really well. And then we just did a like bourbon whiskey one. It has a lot of expensive shit in it, unfortunately. It's got some benchmark full proof, little E.H. Taylor barrel proof, some chocolate whisper redux from Woodford's and their batch proof. Russell's 13. I got a bunch in here. You'd have to watch it back. But we're about to give it a little taste test, see if it turned out any good, and then we're going to put it in a little whiskey coke because I like doing stupid shit. Jacob says, I want to feel like I got a deal on it. Me too. That's a good part too. Like part of like the bourbon hunting stuff for me is like I want to find it, but I also want to find it for a good deal because then it just makes it that much better, right? Rather than like, hey, I found it and I spent like my kid's college fund on it. Cognac says, yep, it's the same for cognac. The prices are at a higher price. Yeah. I mean, I think alcohol prices in general are a little elevated, especially when you start getting into like some of the harder to get stuff. And and I don't mind spending a little bit more. But a lot of the stores around me are like museum prices. So it's kind of hard. Like I can go find like a George C. Stagg any day of the week if I just want to spend the money. Part of me like that takes the fun away from it, Anybody can find a George C. Stagg if you spend $1,500. You know what I mean? You can go order on unicorn auctions for less than that. Jacob said, dude, this Stagg is so damn good. I wish I could buy them all day long for 58. I don't think I'd ever buy anything else. For $58 a Stagg, like kind of hard to choose something else for that price if you were looking at value for dollars there. Yeah, kind of hard to top that at that price. Wow, that one's different. C 300 for Stagg Junior is ridiculous. Yeah, 300 for a Stagg Junior? Hell no. I saw Stagg Junior for 300 so many times though that when I saw it for 200, I was like, oh, should we get it? Should we get it? And totally didn't like realize like that's still not a good price. So yeah, I have gotten a little friendly with the liquor store owner here. He doesn't give me the hookup, but he'll tell me when things are going to be for points or for MSRP and like when they're coming. But he won't hold them for me or anything like that. I don't ask him to either, but the craziest part of this pour to me is I can tell that there's $17.92 in here. simply because it dried out my tongue a little bit. And 1792, I don't know what it is in there that it just always does that. And there's not even that much of it. There's like an ounce, slightly over an ounce of it. But overall, really good. I would say the Chocolate Whisper Redux is pretty prominent in there. There's a really solid chocolate, like a dark chocolate bitter note. But then you have like that sweetness from the Buffalo Trace stuff that just comes through with like a grapey cherry note. I didn't put anything in there with like too much oak, but I do get a ton of oak on this. What did I put in there? No, not the 13th Colony. Maybe, oh, the Frey Ranch. The Frey Ranch, I'm definitely getting some of that grainy from the Frey Ranch. I'd say the craft stuff kind of stands out. I don't really get much of the Four Roses. The little book I didn't expect to really get much out of that. Yeah, I mean, it's good though. Like, in reality though, as we're kind of like pouring it up and we were putting the ounces in there wasn't anything that was bad. Most people would love to have those samples just by itself. So when you combine them, there was no way it was gonna be bad. Like, that's just me being as honest as I can with you there. But like, it's good. I'd say it might not be the best, right? Because they probably were all better slightly individually. But now I have a half a bottle of whiskey that is fairly decent here. Proof is on the higher side. I'm definitely going to say proof is like 119 and above, easily. But it doesn't necessarily like the nose doesn't like feel a ton of ethanol, right? It's more of the finish. The finish is like a nice warm hug, kind of sits in your chest a little bit, and that's where you can feel like the proof. It's not even like super heavy on the palate, which is really nice. Cognac says, yeah, I'm cool with the local liquor store manager too. He helps me get some unique bottles at decent prices. Relationships are the best way. Cognac says, what's your all-time favorite bottle? I have two answers to this. All time, I think like if I ever lost my entire collection, shut down the channel, and somebody said, what bottle are you buying to start back up? I'm going right back to Woodford's Double Oak. I just really love that bottle. It's also one of the bottles that kind of got me into whiskey, so I would kind of go back to where I started. Now, if you told me, hey, what bottle do you drink the most? And what bottle do you think is just fantastic? Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye is the only bottle I replaced like 3 or 4 times last year. Like, there was never a time that I was out of it. I have another empty bottle over there now. I don't have it because I just drink the piss out of that bottle. But Russell's 15 was definitely the best pour that I've had so far. So, different ways of thinking about it. Just, damn, that finish on this is long. Jacob says, yeah, you kind of have to make friends with store owners if you really want to get into bourbon. Otherwise, you might not ever see bottles, or you'll pay crazy for them. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways of looking at it. You can get lucky, you can go to raffles, you can go to bourbon drops and stuff like that. But if you don't have options like that around you, your next best option, and even probably the first best option, is to find a liquor store you think has a really good selection and just shop there for a while, right? Go in and say, hey, you got any recommendations? Even if you're not looking for a recommendation, makes them feel good. It makes them remember your face. And then just kind of strike up a conversation each time. There's one guy at the liquor store I go to, bro, me and him didn't even like each other when I first went in there. Because I was like, I'm in a rush, bro. I'm just looking for this. Grabbed it, went. Next time I was like, yeah, bro, that bottle's good. Slowly the conversations got bigger and bigger. And now every time we go in there, we high five and freaking chest bump at this point. Like we're buddies. But he got me on the hazmat though. Like if you're watching, he sold me. He's like, it's the only one you're gonna be able to get if you want it. Bro, the next day, every liquor store had American Light Whiskey hazmat for sale. And I was like, you fucker. Cognac says, mine has to be cellar age 23. It was 1000% the greatest whiskey / bourbon I ever had. And then Remy Martin XO. That's one of the few that I've never had is a cellar age. I hear it's fantastic. I'd love to be like, yeah, I'm right there with you, but I can't. My brother is a big Makers fan. I've never been super big on Makers, but I did have that Generations of Proof kit that you get from like Costco and stuff like that, and I really love that kit. But as good as it was, I still didn't go to it that often. Maybe it was because I felt it's a little intimidating to try and tackle 3 all at once every time. But what is that? Cognac scent cake. Hell yeah. I can't see that on this thing. I can see it on my phone chat though. If you can find one around 200, it's absolutely a steal. Okay, bet. How about I'll put that on my like find it list is cellar age, because you're not the only person that said that. I think if I can find it, I think that would be a good bottle to have, just from how many people have said they really love that bottle. Either that or I'm gonna find some samples of it. Kevin says, yo, cheers everyone, sipping on some Pursuit Double Oak bourbon tonight. Hell yeah. I haven't had that one. I have the funniest story about Pursuit Double Oak. So I bought one. In my head, I bought one. So bear with me. I made a huge order on Sealbox, including the Pursuit Double Oak. I get everything here. It had the Still Austin Red Corn in it. I had a couple other things. And I pick up the Pursuit and I go, this doesn't look like the Double Oak. And then realize that it was the Pursuit United just, blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. Right? And even funnier is that I was so pissed off about it that I really didn't even touch this bottle. And then when I did, I broke the cork. So I haven't even opened it. But I also can't at this point. So it's just like a funny thing that like I could have gave this to my brother. It would have been a full brand new bottle. I'm sure he could have poured it into a decanter and drank it really fast. But I kind of don't want to let go of it because it's just a really funny story to me, because I thought that I was getting the Pursuit Double Oak for a steal. Come to find out, I was just being stupid. Cognac says, so 23 and 25 are great. 24 is trash. Okay. I'd love to get 23. Just because, like, I'm sure 25 is good, whatever. 24 has no meaning to me. 23 has some sentimental meaning to me, which would be kind of cool. Bro, that's fantastic. Obviously, there's no way you duplicate this, right? Nobody's going to go waste their alcohol to the point where I just blended up a bunch of expensive whiskeys, poured it into a blend, and said, you know what? Let's blend it and then pour it in with some Coke Zero. But if they ever did, but hey, that is so good. I don't know what it did to it, but it made it like a cherry bomb. Bro, it's like those cherries. Have you ever had like the Woodford's cherries you put in like an old fashioned? It's like that. It's like fresh cherry juice with like a little bit of oak and just like, bro, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm a little just kind of shocked how good that is. Kevin says, awesome blend, equal parts of 1910 Jack Daniel's single barrel proof whiskey and Woodford's Double Oak. So 2 double oaks, and then bump up the proof with the JD. Sounds really good, actually. It sounds like a higher proof double oak with hints of the Woodfords, hints of the Old Fort. That sounds fantastic, actually. I think that's a good blend. I don't have the Jack Daniels right now or the Woodford's Double Oak anymore. I drank both of those already. They're gone. But when I get them, Kevin's, come on back. We'll definitely be doing that. Cognac says, also, I'm gonna day this Jack 14 and Russell's 15. We're freaking amazing, but for me, if you can find it, All Nations Cash Strength. It was the best bottle last year. He says, also, I'm going to say this Jack 14 and the Russell's 15 were freaking amazing, which they should be. But All Nations Cash Strength was the best bottle last year. I mean, I can look for that one too. The Russell's 15 was like money last year for me. So, I mean, I'm with that. I didn't even get the Jack 14. We don't have that many subscribers. So, Jacob says, not trying to be another Buffalo Trace fanboy, but I do enjoy their offers. Also want to try the Eagle 12 when my guy gets it. I hear mixed on the Eagle 12. I think it's better from what people say, but it's just not that much better. So the secondary price has been like really pissing people off. I would say like there's a difference between being like a fan of Buffalo Trace and being a tater, right? I think taters is like people that will go buy Buffalo Trace, even though they're probably not going to drink the bottles, and they just want it to sit on their shelves. I think that's stupid. Like me, I have this shelf as Buffalo Trace, but like it's kind of like you can't even fucking see it, can you? There you go. Like this shelf is Buffalo Trace. I got a little bit of Blanton's left. I got some Weller Special Reserve, Eagle 10, Barrel Proof E.H. Taylor. Then it's like my Heaven Hill, some Woodfords, and then Benchmark and Travelers. I had Stag up there. I had all the Sazeracs and stuff like that. But I drink them because I like them. But I'm not like losing my mind over them. But they're really good. Like there's nothing wrong with them. So, I think now I say all this, but if you put an Eagle 17 in front of me, bro, I'm elbowing people for it because I want it. But like I don't lose my mind over Buffalo Trace, but I appreciate what Buffalo Trace is and what they do. I wish you try it, bro. Try it. Take a sip. Take a sip. I can't get it to focus on it. There you go. Take a sip. Fucking Christ, this is good. That might be one of the best whiskey cokes I've ever had, bro. That's fantastic. I hate to say it, but like this bottle is probably going to get drank like that because it's money. This is how much we had. I would say like part of me goes like, oh, well, for sure we're going to add on top of that. Probably not because I'm probably going to drink this. They'll be gone in a week, dude. I like Buffalo Trace. They're easy sippers, super sweet. They are. They're approachable. They're sweet. Even their higher proof stuff really falls in line with what a lot of people would like. I think they hit the masses really well. The part that kind of loses it for me a little bit is I'm not always big on hype. I also like things that are available, like that I can find regularly. Those are the brands that I like the most. So I like Jack Daniel's so much. So you go in, you can find a lot of their good shit. But I know Buffalo Trace purposely limits the quantity because it builds scarcity, which builds a brand. I get it. Great business model for you, bad for me. So. Cognac says, bro, have you tried Four Roses with Coke? I bet you $5 will be better. There's Four Roses single barrel proof in this, bro. But yes, I have tried it. No, for sure. This is better. This is better. Cognac, I don't know if you were here. I'm going to read you off what I put in here. Let's grab them. A little budget bottle. Little Benchmark full proof limit. Scoot over. A little Benchmark full proof, right? A little cheapo. Oh, crap, wrong one. We would put a little Chocolate Whisper Redux from Woodford's. Little distillery only release. 139.4 proof. This is their 2025 edition, by the way. I put Woodford's Master Collection 121.2 proof. This is 2024 edition. I put the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. This one's the 127.2. I put a little bit of Still Austin cast strength 116, right? Yeah, 116 proof. I put a single barrel of the Chattanooga whiskey at 120.3. We put some Russell's 13, obviously their highest proof they've released, which is 123.8. I put the Four Roses single barrel strength. This is OESF, 11 years, 3 months at 122 proof. I put Frey Ranch farm strength at 123.88 proof. Everything was about an ounce, almost equal parts. I'd say the 2 Buffalo Trace things I went a little heavier on. I put Little Book Chapter 9 None for Granted, 121.8 proof in here, about an ounce. What else I put? Oh, I put the Redwood Empire Cast Strength, 116 proof in there. I put Rare Character Kentucky Straight Whiskey at 133 proof. Batch 1 for 2025. I think that was it, right? Oh, I put a 1792 full proof in there. And I think that was it. Bro, that's what I mean. Like, bro, I put in some bangers into this thing. I was shocked how good it was. Connie says, what? Oh, it's more than one bottle. Oh, yeah, bro. Way more than one bottle. This is an infinity blend. I knew it would throw people off because it's in a stag bottle. It's just the bottle I had available. I love Still Austin. Still Austin's one of my favorites. Have you tried the Still Austin Tanger? Yeah. I have it right here. I have the 2024 edition, the first edition. I did not get this year's. Unfortunately, this is one of the few bottles that I paid secondary on. I got it on Unicorn Auctions because I couldn't get it anywhere else. I don't remember what I paid, but I know it was too much. No regrets on it, and I'm going to do the same thing for this year's. There's no way I'm going to have both. It is one of my favorite bottles ever, for sure. That one was in the running. It was tied with Russell's 15 for me as the Tanger. I wasn't going to put the Tanger in here, and I wasn't going to put the Russell's 15 in here either. Haven't seen Rare Character in a minute. I actually really like the Rare Characters. They're unique. They're a little bit different, but they're also like single barrels that are blended by whoever's there. The Rare Characters that I have a rye. I have a whiskey. I have an American light whiskey that's 20 years, 8 months, and it's a hazmat. And then I have this like bourbon whiskey, 7-year, 4-month age one, but they didn't say it was Amberana finish, but it feels Amberana. I could care less about that one, but he's like, it's delicious. I got screwed too. Yeah. The Still Austin thing, bro, last year, well, with the year it came out, I don't know, like, because that wasn't this past December, it was December before that. It came out and everybody posted, it was like, hey, it's at Total Wine. I went up to Total Wine, it was gone. Went home. 2 days later, people said it was there again. I went back up there, it wasn't there. Somebody said, hey, it's in the case. So I went to a different case, it was there. Then they told me I needed points, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? It was just like, there was too much. So I got a weird taste in my mouth for that one. Eventually, I found it on Unicorn Auctions for a reasonable-esque price that I was willing to pay for it. And at first, it was like, I just had to have it, right? But it really is a fantastic pour. Like, really well done. If you like Still Austin Tangers, it's the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? It is good. But I haven't had 25, but I hear it's better. So their second time around doing it, I'm sure they've tweaked a couple things. But I also missed out on their blue corn, which I really wanted. I love the red corn. I have that one. I have their cast strength bourbon. I've just finished off the cast strength rye. I had their artist and their musician, which are their white labels. Both of those are great. There hasn't been a single bottle I've had from Still Austin that I'm like, nah, I wouldn't buy that again. I would buy all of them again. That's why Still Austin is one of those brands to me that are just like, they're just up there. It's Jack Daniels, it's Still Austin. Woodford's will always have like a soft spot for me, and then Buffalo Trace. Those are like the top for me. I love New Rift and I love Redwood Empire, but they've kind of fell off. What I mean by that is they're just not coming out with new, more creative stuff. Redwood Empire just released. They were gonna release a Pipe Dream Toasted though, so but it's gonna be 90 proof. So, how long have we been live? An hour and 45 minutes? That's not too long. I used to go live for like 5 hours at a time, so I think we're cruising. Cognac says Still Austin's in my top 3, which are Cedar Ridge, 1792, and Still Austin. I'm not a fan of 1792 too much. Good flavors. Something weird. They dry my palate out, so I can't put them in. Cedar Ridge. I don't think I've ever had Cedar Ridge. And then Still Austin. Still Austin's fantastic though. My only gripe with Still Austin is all their distillery only releases look and sound fantastic. It's what you want from a brand like that, but it's only being released in very small quantities at their distillery, and I can't get those. And if you try to get them on like a unicorn auctions, you're paying $400 to $500 a bottle, which is just not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that. Kyle, $4.99 super chat says, "Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful night, get brother. Good night, everyone." I don't. Kyle's feeling himself. I think. I don't know what he just put. Kyle, I appreciate you, buddy. All the super chats tonight. Everybody, shout out Kyle, out here just supporting the bourbon habit, one super chat at a time. Glad you had a good vacation, buddy. For real. Glad the kids had a good time as well. Appreciate you stopping by, but obviously we'll be live again soon. Just make sure you turn the bell on because it's not going to be every Friday, but the lives aren't going nowhere. So if you, again, just to let everybody know, I did create another second channel for just like sports and Panthers, like NHL hockey and stuff like that. It's just something for me to have fun with, be creative with. But if you want to go over there and support, feel free to go subscribe. No pressure though. It's not bourbon talk over there. I'll do watch parties and stuff during the game because I don't want to do that on this channel. And of course, I'll probably be doing a little drinky drink. So I'll be drinking, but it'll be more like sports talk than just bourbon talk. So feel free to go over there. But if not, this channel is not going nowhere. I just wanted something else to have some fun with, right? It doesn't cost me anything to talk sports. So Kyle says, "I'll catch you in the Discord." Hell yeah, buddy. I'll see you over there. Anyways, I'm impressed with both of these little blends that I did. Obviously, I can't take too much credit. I put good whiskey in it. They kind of did the work, but it worked out fairly well. So, I'm just curious, like, if I add a little bit more Coke in, will it still have the same effect? Like, will it hold it? Sometimes, like when I'm watching sports and stuff like that, I like to make a cocktail, but I don't want them super strong. So I'll put like less alcohol, more soda, and then just have multiple if I want it. Do I like cognac or have I ever had it? I've had it for sure. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite. Like I've had, like I own right now the Ciroc. That might be brandy, actually. I've had it. I'm not gonna say I dislike it, but it's what the fuck? Oh, my battery must have died. Hold on. Let me do a little swapperooskies. There we go. Now we're back. Yeah, not my favorite. It's not bad. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But typically, what I'll do is like I'll do like a cognac wash or a brandy wash, old fashioned, where I let it sit in the glass, kind of rotate it around. I'll leave a little bit in there, and then I kind of make my old fashioned over top of it. That's when I'm trying to get like real fancy for guests and stuff like that. I don't do it a lot for myself, but doing an old fashioned like that with a little cognac in the glass, top notch. Gives a little extra depth. Um, I will say the weirdest recommendation that I would say is I really liked before. I haven't had it in 5 years. Crown Royal XO, which is finished in cognac. Weirdly enough, it's really good. It's the only Crown Royal that I actually really liked. Little Kentucky Derby. I think the little extra Coke helps. Like, it doesn't make it better, but I think it just kind of goes to show like the higher proof of this blend also can kind of stand up to the soda. You know what I mean? So if I think I nailed it. I nailed the blend. Nailed it. We're just gonna put that over here now. When people come over and they don't know better, I'm gonna tell them it's Stag. I'm kidding, but it would be hilarious. They're like, oh, Stag's amazing. I'm like, yeah, isn't it? Oh, that's a solid one. Which one? Because I said a lot. The Crown Royal or the Ciroc? If you get a chance and you want to dip your finger in a bottle of 1738 or Remy. Okay. Are these like overly priced? I don't know prices of cognacs at all, but I would say like a solid price that I would pay for a cognac right now, even if I was just gonna use it for like old fashioned washes or just random shit, would be about $60. $60 feels fair. I feel like I would get a good enough bottle. Anything more than that, I'm probably overspending because I'm not gonna appreciate it as much as I would as like a $60 or higher bourbon or rye. Oh, Crown Royal XO. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I was a big fan of Crown Royal when I was younger. Right, definitely one of the earlier whiskeys that I drank. As I got older, I liked it less and less. I have a 17 or a 24 year Crown Royal down there somewhere. I never touch it anymore. But that XO was like one of those bottles when it first came out that like I loved, and I was like, we got to get another one. It was super hard to find. That was like me bourbon hunting before bourbon hunting was even a thing. Um, like me, like 22 years old, we went to like 6 or 7 different liquor stores looking for Crown Royal XO, and that was like that was before people like hyped up about whiskey. So weird time to be back then. People were looking for pap. I would probably pass like a bunch of pappies looking for Crown Royal XO like an idiot. Cognac says Remy Martin 1738 50 to 70. Okay. Remy Martin 80 to 150. Okay. 1738 would be my go-to then. That's where I would probably dip my toes into. Because even up to $70 isn't horrible. It's not ideal, right? But 50 is in the sweet spot. A lot of people get mad about whiskey being more than $50. And I know there's levels to whiskey for sure. I think the sweet spot for me to be okay with almost any bottle I buy, as long as I like it. If I don't like it, then I'm pissed regardless. But 50 to 65 is that money zone where you're really gonna get something that should be good value. If you like it, it's probably killer. Just my opinions. Let's look it up. Let's pull it up over here next to the. You can maybe get it cheaper if you know someone. I don't know that many people. Let's look it up. Remy. 1738 A. Hell yeah. No, 1738 right now at Total Wines for $54.99 near me. I can have it delivered to my house. Oh, it says as fast as 2 hours. All right. If I were to stay live for 2 hours and wait for this delivery, who's waiting with me? I get 20% off. Oh shit! Got a little discount code, boys. I would get it for $44.99. Oh, they have smaller bottles. Oh, fuck yeah, bro. Oh, even better. I can get a 200 milliliter right now for $23.99. That's what I would buy. I would buy I know it's crazy, right? Because it's not that much more. But just to figure out if I liked it, I would buy a 200 milliliter, little sampler, right? For 23, 25 bucks. Get it, sample it. If I like it, then I would buy, they have a liter for 70 bucks. 750 milliliter for 55, 375 for 31. 375 is probably the better deal there, right? 23 or 31 for an extra, almost double. Yeah. Right. 31. Splurge a little bit. The bottle looks better too, right? That's the 200 milliliter looks like a little fifth, right? It just has a little sticker on it. The 350 milliliter, you get all the details of it. It's right. It's all right here next to the house. See, that's some fucking shit right there. It's frequently bought together. A little Hennessy. Buy both for $61. Where's this Total Wine, bro? He's like, get it. That's excellent. Holy shit. Where is this? Yeah. Total Wine, bro. Total Wine's got the hookup around here in Jacksonville. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. Total Wine's always got a decent selection, but when it comes to like bourbon, people go up there and they'll wait. For anything else, people don't go to Total Wine. So Total Wine around here is usually stacked. The 350 is the bang for your buck. It's 375 for $31.99. You're trying to jit me on 25 milliliters. Yeah, I think that would be. I also like the look of the bottle better, a little bit more. 31 bucks isn't horrible. You could use that for. What does it say? Bro, only 80 proof. Oh, this is some baby stuff. Okay, I'm fucking with you. Let's see. Granted, is Royal. Doesn't really give you much on there. Ooh, it says particularly smooth with aromas of butterscotch and dark chocolate with an oaky finish. He said touche. Bro, the one thing I do like, I love a good bottle with like a nice chocolate note in it. That's why I liked Woodford's Double Oak so much. Is it had decent level of oak, but it also had this really nice like sweet chocolate note in it. That borderline like bitter cocoa, but mainly was sweet. Like semi-sweet chocolate chips is the way it best described. If I want higher proof cognac, I gotta pay more. Yeah, that's a given, bro. I get it. I'm not. I'm just talking shit. That's funny though. But yeah, chocolate notes were always super big. I haven't been like super dialed into it this because I usually drink like double oaks or whiskeys that have like sweeter dessert-ier or chocolate notes in them around like winter and stuff like that. I really haven't been this winter, and I have a fairly good double oak collection. You know, I have the Nulu double oak wheated, Yellowstone toasted, Starlight double oak, which is a French oak double oak, Barrel Foundations double barrel, Lucky Sevens holiday toast, Peerless double oak, Jim Beam double oak, Bardstown Discovery double barrel, Angels Envy triple oak. I put Old Forester 1924 in this category as well, because it's very cinnamon chocolate vibes. Both of those are, or all of those in particular, are fantastic for winter, but I really haven't touched them. I got a Penelope toasted as well. That would go in that category. And the Chocolate Whisper Redux from Woodford's. Jerry, bro, I've been live this whole time just waiting for you to come in, bro. I'm about to break out the karaoke machine for you. Automatic says, haha, hey again from Ireland. Welcome, Ireland. Welcome to the chat, baby. Ryan says, hey, everybody's doing. Have you tried Red Spot yet? I haven't. I haven't tried much lately. I've been off the grid. It's my first live stream back since early January. I was trying to be like Jerry, dude. I was doing a little dry January over here. So I'm back. Jerry says, hey, y'all, here for a good time, not a long time. Bro, Jerry, if you guys don't know, Jerry has his own little YouTube channel, bro, but he be singing. Just saying. I'm just sorry, Jerry. I put you on blast. It was good. I was surprised. I actually was surprised. I'm not trying to, like, that wasn't like a shot. But he started singing, and I go, all right, here we go. Actually fairly good. Christian says, 2XO American Oak is good too. I hear a lot of good things about 2XO, but I honestly, I've never had any of them. Because I don't know anybody that owns them, and I haven't spent my money on them, so usually that's one of those bottles that people own, and I just try off of people, but Cognac says, Peerless Double Oak is my favorite. Peerless Double Oak was the only bottle that I would openly agree with that was better than Woodford's Double Oak when it came to the Double Oak category. It took me a while to do it because I love Woodford's Double Oak. But Peerless Double Oak is just one of those bottles that, like, you got to give it credit when it's due. Ryan says Red Spot's one of the best Irish whiskeys I've ever tried. Red Spot or Red Breast? Because maybe I'm drawing a blank here, but I know what Red Breast is. Red Spot, I don't know what Red Spot is. Jerry said, thanks, man. I ain't that good, but I have a good time. I think part of it's confidence, bro. So take the damn compliment. Because I got a great singing voice, but nobody's ever going to hear it because I'm not doing it. You know, if we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'll get on here and do karaoke with everybody. But we ain't going to hit that anytime soon, so I ain't got to worry about it. But it's got to be country. It's got to be country song. That's the only thing only singing I do is country. That or like Lose Yourself by Eminem. I can do that pretty good too. Ryan says Red Spot. Also a green spot, blue spot, gold spot as oh my god, guys. Bro, Ryan saying that, all I can think of is red fish, blue fish, because I read that book to my kid like 100 times this week. So my bad, bro. I'm in dad mode still. Cognac says, I'll be here in 2 hours if you want to get it. We also need a Four Roses double oak. That would be amazing. Bro, a little Four Roses, single barrel proof, double oak. Fire me up. Take my money. I'll pay it. I don't think Four Roses is going to do that, though. We should call them, though. I'm not going to order it. It actually said, when I clicked on it, it said 2 hours, but they close in 30 minutes. So there's no way the delivery driver is going to get there in time. Ryan said fair comparison. I know, right? The red fish, blue fish. If you know the book, you know the book. He not to talk about my kid too much, but I bought him this Buzz Lightyear book. He's obsessed with Toy Story right now. Buddy will not put it down. I got him like 3 more books today. I got him like a Cars one. I got him a Mickey Mouse one like he likes. Bro, the Buzz Lightyear book's a hit. So he likes Dr. Seuss too, don't get me wrong, but he ain't reading that by himself. He's like, fuck that. He's almost 2. Yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what are you guys sipping on tonight? I know Cognac's over here. He's having a good old time. But what's everybody else sipping on? Jerry, I gotta know, bro. You've been on dry January, but I know you're drinking something. You've been making love to bottles in your shorts, so I gotta know. We should do one more pour. Like I got this little fancy blended Jack and Coke here. Not Jack and Coke, whiskey and Coke, bourbon and Coke, whatever you want to call it. But we should do one more straight up pour, and then we'll call it a night. Christian says, I'm about to pour some Blue Note honey finished rye. Bro, I legit looked on one of the liquor store's websites around here earlier today looking for that bottle. And it's been sitting there for I don't know how long. And I was like, I just want to make sure it's there before I drive. It literally said sold out. I was pissed. Because I was like, today's the day I picked that up. Cognac says, sipping on some barrel bourbon, cast strength, Armagnac. Armagnac. What a fun word to say. The St. Augustine came out with an Armagnac finished, and I kind of missed it. But I hear it's fantastic. But I haven't really got too far into the Armagnacs yet. Ryan says, I'm out in left field drinking a Fitzgerald made with Drumshambo, gunpowder gin. You are in left field, bud. Like, weirdly enough, kind of sounds good, though. Right? A little switch up, but I respect it. Jerry says, early times, bottled and bond. I got one of those wooden glasses, and I wanted to try something familiar to see how it impacts it. Which wooden glasses did you get? Because I have the Artisan Oak, Glen. Here, let me just pull it over. Like I have this one. It's like a Glen that's a wooden glass. I like it a lot. But I don't use it as much as like you'd think. Cola? Carson? Bro, I don't know what the first part of the name is. I can't even barely read it. Lap. Bro, I'm dyslexic. I can't read that. My bad. Something 10 years. Hell yeah, Carson. Let's see. What could I do another pour of? I'm kind of feeling bougie. I'm either thinking like a little, maybe Jack 10? Maybe a little Jack 10 or still Austin. I feel like I always go with Russell's 15, so I'm trying to switch it up, but should we do it? Let's do Jack 10 in the Wooden Glen. That sounds like a good time. Cognac says, after this glass, I'm going to make a cocktail of Starlight Blackberry and some pink lemonade. It'll change your life. I'm sure it would, bro. That's a summertime vibe right there. I did the what was it? Jack Blackberry and the Crown Blackberry for that matter. With lemonade from Publix. Fire. But pink lemonade? Sounds money. Jerry says, I don't know who made it. Was a gift. I didn't see any branding on the box. Oh, okay. Is it a Glen or is it just like a vessel? Now I'm being nosy. Ryan says, it's surprisingly good. Never liked gin until I found Drumshambo. They make their gin with juniper, and F gunpowder tea. Why is it so small? Why can't I barely read this? So pine needle taste is a lot more subdued. So weirdly enough, in gin, I kind of like the pine needle vibes. But one of the better gins that I've had has been like barrel aged gin in like whiskey or bourbon barrels. Those are fantastic. Caterpillar says, "Do a pour a Fireball Blazing Apple available at stores near you." Bro, I don't even own Fireball. But way to show up, Caterpillar. About time. Cognac says, "Starlight Blackberry is better than Jack Blackberry." I'm gonna say it so you can try to compare them to them. Um, I've never seen Starlight Blackberry. I hear from literally everybody that that one is better. I don't even think like they're in the same category because Starlight does its own like own vibe. Where Jack and Crown Royal, they're kind of just doing it on the cheaper version, in my opinion. But I haven't compared them, so I can't really say. Christian says one with Sagamore 10-year. Okay, flex on us. Why don't you? I'm gonna do a little Jack 10. Jerry says Shores on Wells had that Blue Note honey rye a week or so ago. Yeah, the Shores on 210 has had it for months, and when I checked, they didn't have it today, so kind of disappointed. But that's my fault because I waited that long. Shores on 210 usually has a good selection. Shores on Wells is the go-to store, but it's a little farther. So I like this glass because it feels like you can hold the fuck out of it and not like warm up your glass. Where if you had a Glen like this, like you feel like you would be heating up the whiskey. I don't know if it's the glass or just in my head, but a lot of times it almost like gets rid of the ethanol, tames it down, and makes it a little bit smoother. I don't know if that's just like part of the experience that's thrown me off, or if it really is the glass. Strange. It's a strange vibe. Um, Again, I'm gonna plug it one more time before everybody logs off because we're getting towards the end of the stream, guys. If you guys like any kind of like sports content, Panther content, hockey content, I did have another channel. So if you see me live over there, don't ask questions. I'm just over there having a good time. So there's a channel if you want to go subscribe, but don't be shocked if you see me live on a different channel. Again, the live streams aren't going anywhere here. I do something, and then we do the hangout portion. So Cognac says Cedar Ridge is #1 in my book. Christian says the honey rye gets so much better after being open a couple weeks. Okay, that's good to know because I'm gonna get it. But my only hesitant on the honey stuff is like I have 2 different honey finishes now, and they both have turned super sweet, like hardcore dessert, thick, and they're not bad. They're just like I won't ever drink that whole bottle because like diabetes. I'm just kidding. But like it's just they're super sweet. Cedar Ridge is #1 in your book. I mean, I get that. I haven't had any, so I can't really speak on it, but definitely on the radar now. Bro, I'm a big fan of this Jack 10 though. I really, really want the Jack 12 though. Every time I drink this 10, I always go like, man, I was like a day or a couple hours away from having a Jack 12, and I feel like I would like that so much better. The proof being an extra 10 proof points really would. That's the only thing this bottle's missing. I know it's not the same. Granted, this is batch 3, 97 proof, but it's got like the leather tobacco vibes of it. It's got the traditional like Jack vibes on top. Like it's just a fantastic bottle. But the only downside is I wish it was just slightly higher proof. Cognac says, "You want my favorite bottle from them?" Yeah, yeah. Hit me. What is it? I didn't know it was a secret. Let me know. I'm about to check Total Wine, see if they got it too. We can order that with the Remy. It'll be here in like 2 hours, apparently. Christian says the Blue Note Honey Rye is very sweet and dessert forward, but worth 55, 65 bucks. My issue is not if it's dessert forward, right, or sweet forward. Is it so sweet that you can only do like a half ounce at a time? Like if I pour up a half ounce and I go, hey, it's too sweet, I'm good, I'm done. Those are the bottles that I know like I physically will never finish. I even tried my short barrel bee's knees in like in ginger ale. I tried it in a couple different things, including with lemon and just club soda. Just trying to find different ways to drink that bottle because I can't drink that bottle neat and finish it anytime soon. Jerry says, "All right, I'm out. Cheers, all." Jerry, I appreciate you stopping by. Can't wait to see the next karaoke take. So keep doing your thing, buddy. But yeah, we'll catch up with you next live. Appreciate you stopping by. Cognac says it's between these two, Cedar Ridge Double Barrel Rye Whiskey, our quintessential single cask series Cabernet. I'm going with the Double Barrel Rye Whiskey for sure. The wine finishes for me. There's like 3 that I'm even remotely okay with. New Rift, Kentucky Straight, malted rye whiskey finished in sherry, barrel proof at 111. What the fuck? That one's good. The Woodford's Distillery Series sherry finish is also really good. What's the other one? Midwinter's Night Dram. That one's probably like the last one I'll even be like, yeah, it's good. It's not worth the money, but it's still decent. Sideshow says, is Tom Black here? No, I don't think so. What is that photo, bro? They could be. I mean, you just kind of have to look around a little bit. You know what I mean? It could be in a different aisle or something like that. Caterpillar says, yuck, 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 yuck. What? Not Penelope enough for you? I've been looking everywhere for him. Did you check under the couch? He could also be in the bathroom too, so you got to be careful. Sometimes they'd be in there for a while. You know what I mean? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been live about 2 hours, 20 minutes. So, for our first live back, in a while, I think that's good. You know what I mean? We've hung out. We've had some good times. We made 2 infinity blends. We made a rye and a bourbon. I think the rye is fantastic, but there's no way that bourbon isn't top tier. You know what I mean? If you want to see what's in it, feel free to rewatch it. I put a lot of good shit in there. I don't recommend you doing it or anything like that because it's kind of like I'm not gonna say a waste, but not the best use of those bottles, but definitely fantastic. I should have thought of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not blaming you. It happens. You know what I mean? Do you want me to page him? It's Tom Black here. Tom Black to the front office. Your brother is looking for you. If he shows up, he'll be here. You know what I mean? If he's here, he'll come up. Come to the customer service desk. When did you make the infinity blends? Did I miss it, bro? Yeah, Tucked or Caterpillar. You're a day late and $1 short. We made 2 different Jack and Cokes. We made a whiskey ginger. We did an infinity blend of a rye. We did an infinity blend of the whiskey. We did a bunch of giveaways, duck races. You missed it all, bud. Thanks for going live. If you see Tom Black, tell him I miss him and I'm sorry. You know what? Sideshow, I will. Yeah, guys, again, let me rephrase this. Usually we go live every Friday at 9 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're still going to figure out the time. It's not going to be every Friday anymore. But as we get later into the year, it will go back to being every Friday. It's just we're just making sure the contest is not the content. The content is just getting a little bit better and better for you. I don't want to half-ass it and have you guys hang out here for no reason. So I appreciate everybody that's been subscribing, watching the channel, supporting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you guys like the hockey content or anything like that, feel free to go over to that channel. We will be live over on that channel as well, just doing like more like watch party style. So if you still want to just like do hangouts, feel free to go over there. Definitely gonna do a little bit more like news oriented stuff now that I'm done being sick. But yeah, that just if that's your vibe, feel free. If not, stay here. We'll do our normal lives here. Caterpillar says not the duck racist. No, I didn't really do any duck races. I said I would, but like I was like, nobody ever really wants a sample, so why the fuck would I do it? If somebody wants a sample of the blends, email me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, appreciate you stopping by. Here, let me find this real quick. There we go. So that is where we're going to end it. If you're not in the Discord already, feel free to join the Discord. I'm not going to drop the link. You're going to have to find it for yourself. Or somebody else here will drop it if you want to join. But if not, join the Discord, subscribe to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the other side. Peace.
Yeah, pour it up, let the bourbon speak. Call me old-fashioned, we bringing that heat. 100 proof, sipping flavor on blast. Dabbling with the rear view, raise your glass. Bourbon hunting for unicorns, that's the chase. High ride heat, put a smile on my face. Respect to the OGs, yeah, they set the tone. Tugs, Mr. Lopez, I rock, there it gone. Notes hit strong, oaky, smooth ride. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, pour it up, let the bourbon speak. Call me old-fashioned, we bringing that heat. 100 proof, sipping flavor on blast. Dabbling with the rear view, raise your glass. Bourbon hunting for unicorns, that's the chase. High ride heat, put a smile on my face. Respect to the OGs, yeah, they set the tone. Tugs, Mr. Lopez, I rock, there it gone. Notes hit strong, oaky, smooth ride. I'll see you on